Hey y'all, I'm Stephanie and today I have my updated eyebrow routine for y'all. This is a long time coming, and before I get into the tutorial, I show you how I trim and groom my brows a little bit because I know that was pretty requested before. To see more updated videos such as this one and other videos that I'm gonna upload such as my day and nighttime skincare routine, make sure to subscribe to my channel. With that said, let's just get right into the tutorial. Starting off with bare brows, I use just a few simple tools to clean these babies up. The three tools I use are a spoolie to brush out the brows, a small pair of scissors, these are actually my embroidery scissors, but you can purchase ones just for grooming, and a pair of good tweezers. I groom starting from the center brow, working my way out. To trim my brow hairs, I use a spoolie to wiggle and push the hairs up, and I trim the hairs that go beyond the top of my brows using the spoolie as a straight edge. And this is a fairly foolproof way to trim your eyebrow hairs if you are careful to cut above where your hairs naturally start growing. Moving outward, I grab my tweezers to pluck some stray hairs growing away from my brows, and as you can see on this particular brow, there are some hairs that grow kind of downward, so I just trim them a bit with my scissors. And that is pretty much what I do weekly to maintain my brows. It might not seem like I did much to you, but it definitely makes a difference to me. Let's move on to how I fill my brows now, starting off with bareMinerals Frame and Define in Universal Dark. This is a nice stiff pencil, great for making precise lines. And first I'm going to take that and create the shape that I want on the bottom of my brows. Starting from the very center, I follow under my brows with a pretty light hand, feeling the natural curve of my brow bone. And now we have a guideline to fill above. The shape that I create can really change day to day. Sometimes my arch is higher, sometimes more straight. Honestly, my end goal is just to make the arches as even as possible on both sides. Next, I take the bareMinerals Brow Color in Brunette with the brow brush, and I like this brush a lot because the bristles are very stiff, so you have a lot of control. I lightly dip the brush into the color and top off what I've collected into the cap, and this is pretty much all the product you need in this color for both brows. Grabbing a little color, I start filling in a third from the center of my brows, filling in above the line I created with a pencil, and I'm using light strokes from the center out. Going back in with the pencil again, I am defining the wing of my brows, and this is the part where I have to be the most precise. Try to be as light-handed as possible because, as you can see, I'm kind of going over the same line over and over again until I get the definition and shape that I want. I'm not only tracing under the brows, but on top to fill in the lack of hairs I have there, and in doing so, I'm creating that defined shape. And don't be scared to edit a bit. I use my pinky a lot to help the product go where I want it to go. And like I said before, try to be really light-handed because you don't want to pile too much wax on your brows. I like to lock in the fleek with a little more powder, so grabbing a bit more brunette, I'm just going to place that over everything I just did. And this is why I don't really use that much powder the first time around, because this is where I really put the color in. The first time around with the powder is more of a guideline still, and as you can see, this is where the pencil and the powder start to really merge together. We can't leave it like that, we gotta fill in the centers. Taking bareMinerals Brow Powder in Dark Blonde, I use the same method as before, but try to pick up just a very minimum amount of powder. And starting from the line we created with the pencil, I begin brushing center out with a very light hand. I blend the wax and the two colors together to try and create a gradient or a fade. And this part is really your preference as well. If you have thicker brows, you obviously don't need to fill this in as much, but I have such thin brows, especially at the centers, that it looks strange if I don't fill it in here. And obviously, I'm using my pinky once again to help the process along and blend a bit. At this point, I just go back and forth to even things out, and for some reason, especially when I try and film and put on makeup, I can never get things exactly even, but such is life. Here we have my completed brows. It's really all trial and error. You know, I'm just really learning as I go along as well. So if you have brow struggles, I feel you. We're going through this thing together. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this video was useful to you in any way at all. I was first introduced to these bareMinerals products during my Beauty by Mail video, and I used them one time and completely abandoned all my other products. So since then, I have only been using these products on my brows. If you're interested in viewing that video, I will link it down below. If you like this video and you haven't already, please subscribe. It would mean so much to me, and let me know in the comments down below what other videos you would like to see from me. Obviously, I'm making videos for y'all, so I want to make stuff that you actually want to see. I guess that's it for now. I love y'all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!